this video will demonstrate how to properly install a 4-prong power cord on a GE electric dryer. Safety first, so always disconnect power before servicing electrical appliances. This is the back of the GE dryer we're going to be working on. As you can see, I've tilted it forward and leaned it up against something so I can have easier access to the work area and also for video purposes. If you choose to do this when working on it, make sure it's locked into a position where it's not going to slide out from under and fall and not going to damage the machine. The first thing I'm going to do is remove the cover plate, and this cover plate assembly just has a simple 1/4 inch screw to remove, and I'm taking that off right now. And once I remove that screw, the whole plate just lifts up and out of the way, exposing the terminal block and the wires. Now on the terminal block you have all 3 of the wires from the power cord, and here it is with everything identified. L1, L2 are the hot wires, the middle is neutral. You got a grounding strap. We're going to remove all of that to get it out of the way so we can install the 4-prong. So I'm going to use my power tool here with a Phillips head adapter on it and remove the 3 screws from the terminal block that are holding the wires onto the terminals. These terminal screws on the GEs are special made. They have a locking mechanism with them as well to lock them in place on the terminal block, so those are the ones you want to reuse, of course. Just remove all 3 of those. Next I'm going to remove the strain relief clamp. It has 2 Phillips head screws on it, so I'm just removing the 2 screws out of the strain relief clamp. We'll reuse the strain relief clamp when we reinstall the 4-prong power cord, but we have to get the strain relief clamp off of this cable so it'll be able to pull through. The opening is... Now be careful when pulling it through the opening so that you don't scar the wires or cut them, because that opening is very sharp, which is why you need a strain relief clamp in the first place, to keep it from getting nicks and cuts on the cable from machine use. When the machine's running, it vibrates and it can cause them to have cuts and eventually even a short. So you always want to use a strain relief clamp. I'm removing the 1/4 inch screw that holds on the grounding strap. This is an up-close view of the grounding strip I just removed. It's a copper piece, and that's what grounds the body of the machine to the neutral terminal when using a 3-prong. Now on a 4-prong you have a separate ground location. Upper right hand corner there is where the grounding wire from the 4-prong power cord will go. We'll use the same grounding screw that held the strap, but we're going to mount it in the other alternate location. Here's the 4-prong power cable, and as you can see it has 4 wires on it. There are a red, a white, a black, and a green, and we're just going to match those up with the wires that are on the terminal block, and that'll get them in the right place. The white one always goes in the middle on the terminal block. The red and black go on the outer terminals, and the green goes directly onto the body of the machine for the grounding. So just feed them carefully through the access there, and then align the wires to where they need to go. Like I said, I'm going to fold that green wire up so it goes to where the grounding location is for the body. And I've got the black wire down on the bottom, which is the L2 location, because that's where the black wire for the machine was mounted. And put the screw in and get it started. And then likewise with the white wire, goes in the middle. That is the neutral terminal location, and the neutral wire is being put on. And then finally the red wire, which is the other hot wire from the power cable, going to the same terminal where the red wires are mounted on from the machine. Take me just a second here to get all these started, and then I'll go ahead and tighten them down snug. You want to make sure these are tight, but you don't want to overdo it to where the point where you do a cross-threaded or damage them, but pretty tight is what they need to be. Now I'm going to use that same grounding screw that was holding the strap on earlier, and this green wire is going to go to the hole that's pre-drilled in the machine. It is a self-tapping type screw, so don't confuse it with the screw that was holding on the cover plate. They are different. And I'm going to go ahead and line that up on the hole there, and using my ratchet 1/4 inch, tighten that down in position. Here's an up-close view of what we've just installed. And you'll see the red wire on the first terminal at the top, neutral is the white wire in the middle, black wire on the bottom, and then over there on the top right hand side you'll see we mounted the green wire for the machine ground. We'll go ahead and install the two halves of the strain relief clamp. The tongue from the strain relief clamp feeds into the hole and then locks in position, and that's what will hold the cable in position and prevent it from getting any kind of cuts on it as well. It serves two purposes. One is to prevent the cuts from machine vibrations during use, and the other is to keep someone from pulling on it and causing damage by putting strain or pulling on the wire against the terminal block ends. With the strain relief clamp on, you're pulling against the clamp instead of against the terminal block. Line the holes and insert the little Phillips head screws and tighten them down. Go back and forth from side to side when doing them. It's a lot easier to get them started that way, as well as to complete the tightening of them. If you tighten one all the way down before you even start the other one, it'll be very difficult to get it to start. Once that's complete, the only thing left to do now is to install the cover plate. Just put the tabs back in the holes where they were. Use the screw that was originally holding it in place. Same location. And get it started with my fingers, and I'll go ahead and tighten it down. And again, this is a 1/4 inch on this one. And that will complete the installation of a 4-prong power cord on a GE electric dryer.